This is an amazing epiphany I've had recently that has changed my perspective of life. So in the second half of last year, God was showing me about hearing from him. And sometimes when people have asked what I want prayer for, it's just that I would hear from God clearly, because then there's comfort and perspective, there's connection with him, and we can know what to do in every situation. And, even with reading the Bible, we need the Spirit, according to 1 Corinthians 2. So we need his guidance in everything, and that comes up in everyday situations in life, in even the little things. And this is different from praying that God will fix things, that he will fix situations. It's about getting close to God's heart so we can have his thoughts, his perspective on every situation. And when we ask for wisdom, that is a promise he will give us. We just have to ask in faith with the confidence that he will answer, because that is his will, for us to have his wisdom. And he also showed me recently something: we have to let go of our own wisdom, because our own wisdom can get in the way. So first that was on my mind. I was thinking, why is it that I've prayed so much for wisdom for years? Several years ago I started praying for wisdom, and I didn't really get smarter. Then I realized it was my own wisdom getting in the way. And then I had a confirmation through a friend who it seemed like she was reading my mind. We need to ask, and we need to have an empty cup. Well, that also lined up with something else God had shown me just before the call. He drew my attention to something in something that I was reading that said we have to let go of our own way of thinking. We have to stop leaning on ourselves and lean on his thoughts. So I've realized that is the solution to every problem, at least the beginning to the solution to every problem, because when we take things to God in prayer, we can have his perspective. And this changes everything. It applies in marriage, if we have disagreements with our spouses. It applies to problems in life. Let's say it's financial problems. Ask God for his perspective. What does he want you to do? What does he see in this situation? Maybe he's having you learn something. And he can give you a perspective that is beyond just wanting a solution. Ask for God's heart. What are his thoughts? And when we lean into him, that's a relationship. And that's what we're made for. We're made for a relationship with God. And so we can turn these problems into opportunities to draw closer to God, to his heart, and have him show us what he sees in the situation.